Bank before your question is
Pleads guilty, then takes it back. Neither the judge nor prosecutors seem to know what to do. Where does this bizarre case go next? A race against time to try to save 9 Pennsylvania coal miners trapped down deep in a cave-in. Today, it's the West, but there's a growing danger this scene could be repeated in the drought-plagued Southeast. And moving company ripoffs. They say their belongings were held hostage. What it took to get them back from the moving company tonight.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. For a moment today, it looked like the case of the United States versus Zacharias Moussaoui might be coming to a quick end. In Virginia federal court, the only person actually charged so far in the September 11th attack on America pleaded guilty to 4 of the 6 charges against him, all 4 carrying a possible death penalty. But just as the Justice Department was about to declare victory, Moussaoui withdrew the plea. Neither the judge nor the prosecutors seemed to know where to go with things after that, and as CBS's Joey Chen reports, the court and the case were thrown into chaos.
Security was extremely tight at the federal courthouse not far from the Pentagon as Zacharias Moussaoui came to offer his guilty pleas. Extra precautions were also taken with the defendant, outfitted with a stun belt under his prison jumpsuit meant to keep him in line. Judge Leonie Brinkema began by rejecting a motion from his court-appointed attorney to delay the proceeding. The guilty pleas, she said, were an unwise decision, but I am satisfied he is not suffering from a mental defect. Turning to Moussaoui, she said, "You wish to enter a plea. Is that your desire?" A brisk, businesslike Moussaoui said, "Yes." Judge Brinkema, which counts do you plead guilty to? Moussaoui, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 death penalty counts he faces, involving conspiracy to commit terrorism and the use of an airliner as a weapon of mass destruction. But almost immediately, Moussaoui backed away. "I was not involved with the September 11th hijackers," he said. "I can provide information about an ongoing conspiracy." But Judge Brinkema warned he couldn't pick and choose what he agreed with in the government's case. "If you're saying you never did these things," she said, "I can't accept the guilty plea." After a recess, a somber Moussaoui returned with a prayer and a decision. "My Creator, my Allah," he said, "I have to withdraw my guilty plea." The lawyers originally assigned to defend Moussaoui say what happened today proves he is in no condition to act as his own attorney.
Our experts, psychiatric experts, predicted his behavior to a T. It fits right in line with their fear that he's suffering from delusions.
Judge Brinkema recessed the hearing without a plea from Moussaoui and told prosecutors that they could not use the statements of guilt against him if the case comes to trial.
I don't see how this isn't going to go to trial unless there's some sort of deal between the government and Moussaoui. But if Moussaoui's not willing to talk to his own lawyers, I don't know why he'd be willing to talk to federal prosecutors.
The government had hoped it would all be over today. Attorney General John Ashcroft had even called a victory press conference for late this afternoon, but had to call it off because the government's case is now back to square one. Dan?
Joey Chen in Washington, thanks. Moussaoui is the only person charged in the 9/11 attacks, but he's not the only person in the country being held by the U.S. government in the war on terror. The Pentagon is expected to award a contract soon for construction of 200 more cells at the U.S. Navy base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And as CBS's David Martin reports tonight, as the number of detainees there grows, so it is claimed does the amount and quality of information investigators are getting from them.
More than 650 suspected Taliban and al-Qaeda prisoners are being interrogated by the U.S. Most of them are still refusing to cooperate, but officials say resistance is slowly starting to crumble. According to a report by the House Intelligence Committee, the interrogations have suffered from a lack of skilled linguists and analysts. But that's starting to change because some Arab countries have begun providing interrogators.
The interrogators are better. And we are yielding good information that's helpful in preventing future threats.
The highest-ranking prisoner, Abu Zubaydah, al-Qaeda's one-time chief of operations, is being held in isolation at a secret location where interrogators have been able to pry valuable information out of him. Without meaning to, Zubaida put the FBI on the trail of Jose Padilla, the so-called dirty bomber suspected of plotting to set off a radiological bomb. But, says one official, Zubaida knows a hell of a lot more than he's given up. The top priority is to head off future attacks, and officials say they have identified a number of mid-level al-Qaeda operatives who could carry out attacks on their own now that their leader, Osama bin Laden, has disappeared. Guantanamo Bay is being expanded, and that makes it possible to keep more prisoners in isolation.
It is easier to resist interrogation if you can talk to the guy next to you and shore each other up. It's people in isolation who break down and start to talk.
And they could remain in isolation for a very long time. The government claims they are enemy combatants who can be held without charges until the war against terror is over. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
President Bush is threatening to veto the Senate version of legislation creating the Department of Homeland Security. President Bush is demanding what he calls more flexibility in hiring and spending. Backers of the Senate bill say the president's hiring demands are anti-union and a, quote, power grab. In Pennsylvania coal country, it's been a battle against water, a race against time, and a harsh reminder that coal mining is the deadliest job in America. Teams worked hour after hour today in southwestern Pennsylvania trying to rescue 9 coal miners trapped far down below since last night. CBS's Jim Axelrod is on the scene. Jim?
Dan, it's high stakes beat the clock here. The highest stakes, in fact. The lives of 9 coal miners trapped underground hang in the balance. On this hilltop near Pittsburgh, they already feel they're beating the odds.
The fact that they apparently have found someone here alive, based on what we heard a few hours ago, was really a 1 in a million shot.
What rescuers heard was tapping when they drilled where they now believe the miners are stranded.
Coal miners know when they seen that drill still come down and they were able to tap on it and we were able to tap back. They know we're here and they know we're trying to come and get them.
The miners were trapped when they cracked through the wall of an adjacent abandoned mine filled with water and flooded the shaft where they were working. 18 men had entered the mine, hauled more than a mile in by specialized tractors. There they split up. When Group A saw water spilling in, they telephoned the men in Group B, who escaped by wading in water up to their necks. But the 9 trapped miners were blocked by the water. They moved to their present position, which is some 240 feet below ground, a cramped, dark, wet space.
Probably 48 to 52 inches high, which, you know,
4 feet, 4.5
feet, and they're probably can't stand up, probably hunched over or kneeling.
Since 1900, more than 125,000 people have died in U.S. mining accidents. The worst, 95 years ago in West Virginia, 362 perished. In recent years, technology has improved mine safety.
So this kind of an accident is a rarity. We haven't seen multiple fatalities in Pennsylvania in lots of years, and thankfully so.
For now in Q Creek, they're bringing in a bigger drill, one big enough to drill a hole 2.5 feet wide through which men could be pulled to safety. It will take at least 18 hours to go down far enough. Usually in the rescue business, officials are very guarded, figuring there's no upside in optimism. But here they have the tapping, seismographs that show movement, and pumps pushing air underground. And so the rescue officials here remain outwardly optimistic. They'll get these men out. Dan?
Jim Axelrod in Pennsylvania, thanks. Congress today passed and sent to President Bush a package of business law revisions and reforms rushed through in the wake of the corporate accounting scandals. But this didn't ease concerns on Wall Street, and yesterday's nearly 500-point Dow rally fizzled today. The blue chip index closing down about 5 points. CBS's Anthony Mason is on the market watch.
Wall Street's rally proved to be a one-day wonder. Stocks stumbled again, and tech stocks tumbled badly. The Nasdaq falling almost 4% to its lowest level since 1996. Traders said the mood was still somber.
There's really no major institutional buying going on, more or less just relief rallies on the upside.
Bear Stearns' Susan Green says the bears are still in control of the market.
We are not out of the woods.
And AOL Time Warner stock was taken to the woodshed. A $50 stock last July, its shares fell 15% today to less than $10 after the company acknowledged the SEC was investigating the accounting practices of its America Online unit.
I do think that this particular issue seems to be overblown. Certainly the market's reacting to an unknown, which is what else the SEC might be finding or if there's any other issues at the company.
And investors worried about other scandals spreading. The Wall Street Journal reported that WorldCom's former CEO Bernie Ebbers and former CFO Scott Sullivan could be arrested as early as next week. The latest economic numbers were also disappointing. Spending by businesses plunged in June. A slowdown in corporate spending is what sent the economy into recession.
So if you think about a recovery in kind of a classical sense, you'd like to see business spending on plant and equipment come back, and that's one, highly unlikely, and the numbers seem to indicate that it isn't about to happen.
So it's discouraging?
Yeah, it's discouraging. No question.
Discouraging because it casts doubt on the strength of the economic recovery. So have earnings reports from many technology companies. The bounce back in business that some forecast for the second half of this year now looks like it may not happen until next year. Dan?
Anthony Mason, thank you. Now about some positive fallout from the stock market slide. As investors move money from stocks to Treasury bonds, interest rates are falling. Take a look at this. The average rate for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is down to 6.34%. That's the lowest rate in 31 years of record keeping. And gander at the return homeowners are getting on their investment. In the past year, the median resale price has risen more than 7%. Coming up next year on the CBS Evening News, Eye on America, raging wildfires fueled by drought. The worst may be yet to come, and not just in the West.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Presenting the new Gateway desktops. Starting at just $5.99 after a $100 mail-in rebate. So stylish, even the price is good looking.
Heartburn?
Yeah. Any of you not hard or chalky?
No. I'm not.
You may like soft chews.
I'm soft and chewy. Not hard and chalky.
Softy. Try fast new Maalox Soft Chews.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a stroke. That's why I talked to my doctor about Plavix. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
The promotion, a new title, a bigger paycheck, better days ahead. Your hard work paid off, and so did that extra confidence from getting rid of your gray hair with Just for Men hair color. Its vitamin formula rejuvenates your hair and energizes you with a natural look in 5 easy minutes. When you feel confident, it shows. Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
In California, the massive effort to save some of the world's oldest trees from raging wildfires appears to be paying off tonight. The 60,000-acre fire is still burning, but the most famous stands of giant sequoias may now be out of the extreme danger zone. A spokesman for the elite crews brought in to save the national treasure trees said, quote, "This is a good day for firefighters. But there could be much worse days ahead, not just in California and not just for those fighting the wildfires." CBS's Mark Strassman has the wildfire and drought connection in tonight's Eye on America.
In America's war on wildfires, today's front line is not only the Sequoia National Park, but Oregon, where an army of firefighters is overwhelmed.
Yeah, we had to run out.
Statewide, 15 different wildfires are burning right into the record books. With 3.8 million acres already blackened nationwide, more than double the average for this time of year, this is one of the country's worst fire years in a half-century.
You're going too slow. Move on.
Just in the northern Rockies, wildfires have shot up almost 1,000%.
Fires that are just completely out of hand. We're just completely outside of what we expect as a norm.
Especially with America's worsening drought. In more than a third of the country, the drought is now severe to extreme. Half of America has at least moderate drought. Drought that leads to dread about wildfires. Fire experts say regionally that danger shifted recently from the charred Southwest to the Pacific Northwest and California, Nevada, Wyoming, and Idaho.
These are their fire danger or predictive service areas.
In Boise at the National Interagency Fire Center, fire analyst Tom Wardell watches and worries.
The fires are burning more intensely, and people are going to have to just take real diligent care to take care of themselves.
In Salt Lake City, Utah,
keep your things trimmed. You don't want them up into the rafters themselves.
a fire expert warns Lee Marzek he's courting disaster. Trees and shrubs run up to his house and above it, all fuel for flames.
A tree like that I would try and keep for shade, but what I would do is maybe trim it up a little.
Ideally, Marzek should clear any growth 30 feet away from his house. By late summer, America's regional fire worry may shift again to the drought-stricken Southeast, to Virginia, the Carolinas, and Georgia. After a 4-year drought, much of the Southeast is bone dry. Come late September, all these dry leaves will float to the ground. Forests like this will have a carpet of kindling. And in the Southeast, the fire season will begin. For Lee Marzek, like so many Americans, living in the fire zone now cuts into his comfort zone.
I thought we had a reasonably safe home, but now all I realize is we have a candle.
A candle that could be lit for months to come. In Atlanta, this is Mark Strassman for Eye on America.
In South Asia, hundreds of people have died and millions are homeless after nearly a week of severe flooding. The monsoon floods are far worse than normal. Much of eastern India is underwater, along with parts of Bangladesh and Nepal. More than 200 people have been killed and 6 million forced from their homes in the past 5 days. You're watching the CBS Evening News, and up next, how one family got their move back after they say an unethical moving company held their belongings for ransom.
Accepted anything just because someone said so. So why are you just accepting that as you get older, it's normal to run to the bathroom 8 or more times a day? It isn't. It could be overactive bladder, a medical condition that can interrupt your sleep and your life, even embarrass you. But it doesn't have to. Because once a day, Ditropan XL is clinically proven to help control overactive bladder for 24 hours. If you have certain types of stomach urinary or glaucoma problems, you should not take Ditropan XL. In studies, the most common side effect was dry mouth. Other side effects may include constipation, drowsiness, blurred vision, dizziness, diarrhea, and nausea. Talk to your healthcare professional about Ditropan XL. Ditropan XL. There are some things you don't have to accept.
Pour a little summer onto your salad and catch the taste of California. Kraft Creamy Cucumber Ranch, sun-dried tomato, and balsamic vinaigrette. Kraft dressings. Bite into summer.
Heartburn? Yeah. Any of you not hard or chalky?
No. I'm not.
New Maalox Soft Chews.
I'm soft and chewy. Not hard and chalky.
Softy. Try fast new Maalox Soft Chews.
Got an itch?
Scratching tears up skin. Maximum strength Lanacane saves your skin from scratching with maximum anti-itch medicine and antibacterial to help kill germs. Lanacane stops the itch, saves your skin.
I quit. Feeling lethargic.
I quit. Feeling bloated again and again.
It's time to quit. Quit the cycle of irregularity with Metamucil Daily Fiber Therapy. With Metamucil, you don't just get regular, you stay regular. Day after day, week after week.
I didn't just quit. I quit for good.
And you can too.
Metamucil Daily Fiber Therapy. Get regular, stay regular.
Gilbert belongs to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. They specialize in Civil War reenactments.
I joined because it's a historical organization. Most of the guys joined for the same reason I did.
Until now. Tomorrow, the disturbing political movement that's trying to take over. Eye on America on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
President Bush campaigned today for capping money awards for medical malpractice, saying malpractice insurance costs are driving doctors out of business. The president spoke in North Carolina, his 5th trip to the home state of Democratic U.S. Senator John Edwards, once a prominent malpractice attorney who got a lot of money out of insurance companies, a rising star in his party, and potential candidate to run against Mr. Bush in campaign 2004. On Capitol Hill today, Attorney General John Ashcroft denied that an anti-terror program asking all Americans to report any suspicious activity smacks of Squeal on Your Neighbor and Big Brother. Ashcroft said the so-called TIPS program would not be a threat to civil liberties. Ashcroft also defended his proposal to destroy background checks on gun buyers after one business day. The Attorney General said this would not impede criminal investigations. There's a follow-up tonight to a story CBS first reported last month about a surprisingly common scam. Fly-by-night movers who pick up a family's possessions, then demand thousands of dollars more than their original estimates to give them back. Tonight, CBS's investigator Maureen Maher reports a happy ending, at least for one family caught in this trap.
It's finally moving in day for Glenn and Rita Woolette. 4 months after their belongings were packed up in Maine, they arrived in Florida. When CBS first interviewed the Woolettes in June,
right here I would have my dining room set.
They claimed elite van lines were holding their belongings hostage and had hiked up the price of their move from a bargain $1,300 to nearly $4,000. But today, it's a different story.
And why do you think they finally caved in?
I think that there was been some heat brought down on them from some federal agencies.
In the last week, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration announced a crackdown on 8 moving companies, including Elite Van Lines. Elite was fined nearly $40,000 for failing to relinquish a customer's goods upon payment, failing to provide written estimates, and failing to participate in a dispute settlement program.
I'm Maureen Maher with CBS News.
No one from Elite would speak to us on camera, but the company's owner told CBS News that he plans to appeal the fine, and in the end only charged the Woolettes 10% more than their original estimate, which is legal.
The Woolettes may have their belongings back, but what about the hundreds of other families whose furniture is still being held hostage by other moving companies? Is the threat of a federal fine enough to keep all bad movers from taking consumers to the cleaners?
Florida Congressman John Mica says criminal prosecution may prove to be a better deterrent.
We can do it with additional laws, but these people need to be stopped.
The Woolettes admit they aren't without blame.
We take a lot of responsibility.
Their biggest mistake? Never asking for an estimate in writing.
What a long haul.
A frustrating reminder. Sometimes a bargain is too good to be true. As for Elite Van Lines, they've moved on to their next job. Maureen Maher, CBS News, Palm Harbor, Florida.
An FDA advisory panel tonight recommended that pregnant women limit consumption of tuna. The panel says tuna should be added to the FDA list of 4 ocean fish that pregnant women should mostly avoid because the fish increasingly have traces of mercury that may cause birth defects.
I am
one of the many people.
We used to think they're frequent, persistent heartburn.
It's just plain old heartburn.
But if you've treated your heartburn, changed your diet, and the pain still comes back 2 or more days a week, it could be from acid reflux disease.
And over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Today, there's a purple pill called Nexium from the makers of Prilosec. For many people, 1 prescription Nexium a day means complete
24-hour.
Day and night heartburn relief.
And Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can tell if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and a free trial offer for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn. Heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
The world's largest hotel chain is almost anywhere you want to go. The world's largest hotel chain tucks you in around the globe. With over 4,000 hotels in over 80 countries, the world's largest hotel chain is Best Western, inviting you to get a good night's sleep. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Call 1-800-WESTERN or visit bestwestern.com. It's end of the day, and your dry clean only clothes show it. So just how easy is it to get them clean and fresh? Frankly, pretty darn easy. Dry out, zip it, steam it, hang it. Love it.
Working hard or working out, nutrition is important. With Centrum or Centrum Silver, you benefit from what science discovers about how the right multivitamins help unlock energy and strengthen immunity. Centrum and Centrum Silver, always complete from A to zinc.
Now, the same Caltrate that helps fight bone loss may help your colon, too. In a recent study, Caltrate helped reduce the risk of recurrence of colon polyps, a risk factor for colon cancer. The same Caltrate you take for your bones, now for colon health, too.
We'll show you the police report of a man held against his will and beaten in a southeast Portland home at 6.
In our evening news end notes, another strange twist in the dispute over the frozen remains of baseball's late, great Ted Williams. Court documents filed in Florida include a stained scrap of paper with Williams' signature and those of his son and daughter. It says they want to be, quote, put into biostasis, that is, frozen when they die. But the issue is not yet resolved since Williams' will said he wished to be cremated. Cremation is planned for Zeus, the most decorated dog in the New York Police Department. Zeus died this week after a decade of search and rescue service, including the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and the Oklahoma City bombing. And in Southern California, it's a squid alert. Scientists suspect the resurgent El Nino weather phenomenon may somehow be causing hundreds of jumbo flying, that is, jump out of the water squid, up to 2 feet long, to wash up on San Diego beaches. And that's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather reporting. We invite you to join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News.
This is CBS.
Now, with Jeff Gianola and Mike Donahue, this is Coin 6 News at 6.
A dangerous game of cat and mouse in the West Hills tonight. Police have been tailing an armed fugitive all week. Now he's invading homes in the West Hills. We've got a live report on the frustrating search.
A mother and son speak exclusively to Coin 6. He says he was tied up for 3 months in his uncle's basement where he was beaten.
And what is that big fire in Sisters doing for tourism in one of Oregon's most popular getaways? It's 6 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Mike Donahue. Welcome to Coin 6 News at 6. People in one Northwest Portland neighborhood are on alert tonight. An armed and dangerous fugitive is on the loose there and may be invading homes. 49-year-old Raymond Stock, a convicted thief and sex offender, escaped officers earlier this week. Police say Tuesday he stole a van from Cowlitz County, Washington. They chased him into Northwest Portland where his van hit a tree and started a small fire. An intensive day-long search turned up nothing except the discovery of ammunition in his van. And then last night, a woman came home about 11:30 and things didn't look right.